Hello, how are you guys today? I'm just getting everything set up so we are live. Turning on Mr. Nightbot. There you go. Hi, Sylvia. How are you today? I'm over here doing my thing. And stuff here in the sewing room. Mostly basically cleaning things up today, making sure I don't have anything on my face. Feels like I do. It doesn't look like it behind me, but I actually have been. Yeah, I saw your video this morning. That was pretty clear on how to put that together. I've never done FPP, so I was really interested in how you did that. I like that you numbered the blocks and then said attach G to JMNO or whatever. It was really a clever way to do it. I'm early. I figured why not? You can see my little mess over here behind me. I've got my chicken salad stuff, working on filming that video. And I played with my brother yesterday, the scan and cut. Let me see if I can move this. And what I did was I took big pieces of fabric and I applied some heat and bond to the back. I've still got the paper attached to them. I took a 10 by 10 on that one. And then I used the scan and cut to cut out some things. I got a butterfly. I've got some hearts and some little random pieces of different things. I just literally filled up the entire piece of fabric with little designs because I made a cover for my scan and cut yesterday. I went in and followed a lady from, trying to remember where she said she was from. All I have to do is sign into it. So it should. Hi, Star. How are you today? Yep, it's on. See, you just sign in. As long as you leave it joined to your channel, when you sign in, it'll automatically work. And I need to add a couple of things to that today, but I'm nursing my right shoulder today. I woke up and it was hurting, so I was like, okay. I laid back down for a couple of hours, and then I've got pain meds on board. The muscle relaxer, not really pain medication. But that's why I've been working on little piddly stuff here in my sewing room. Got a bolt of fabric sitting down here that I want to use to make some other things. Hi, Beverly. But I can't pick up the bolt because I can't use my right shoulder. You shouldn't have to do anything else as long as you open Nightbot when you go live. It is what it is. I mean, the pain moves from place to place, Stir. I'm really lucky on days where I don't have any pain. But for now, it usually just gets one joint at a time. I just have to figure out which joint it is and how to work around it for today. So today it's the right shoulder. A couple days ago, it was my left elbow. I have very few days where I'm completely pain-free. Some days it's a little rougher than others. But I have found there's a couple of triggers. I've got a couple of people who always irritate me, completely blocked, and because they cause stress. And I'm sorry, nobody gets the right to do that to me. You don't get to talk mean to me. You don't get to talk down to me. And I'm not going to put up with crud out of anybody. And as long as I deep breathe, yeah, exactly, Sylvie. You just learn to live with it and figure out how to work around it. I'm sure that you have a chair that's, as comfortable as possible that you sit in whenever you sew, and you put your feet up or down or whatever helps. And that's pretty much what I do. I have recently found a guy who does painting restorations, and he has the most soothing voice. I'm really big on people's voices. Baumgartner Restoration. I don't know if any of you have ever seen anything from him, but he restores paintings. Not everybody on what, Beverly? There's only a couple of people who do that, and I've blocked them. So, I don't have to see them if they're saying something. Exactly. I'm not dealing with crud off anybody. I've talked it over with my husband and with a couple of people whose opinions I trust. Yeah, I can't do Motrin anymore. But I take, oh, that hurt. This is it's a muscle relaxer called Robaxin. And I don't know what's in it, methocarbamol. Oh, have a great day, Teresa. But yeah, I take my meds. I have them on alarms on my phone, and I take mine at 8 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock at night. I take extra turmeric to make sure that, I do as much as I can naturally. And then, and I'm getting to the point that I'm like, yeah, I should just put Robaxin in the box and be done with it. But I haven't resorted to that quite yet, Stir. I also have, this stuff is great. I don't know if any of you use this, and I'm hoping you could read it. It's a Walmart brand. Oh, Bob Ross did have an awesome voice. This is a 4% lidocaine topical cream. I can use it on my shoulder, on my hand, any of my extremities. I don't use it on like my back itself, but if it's here, I'll put it here, and I've applied it several times today. Yeah, mellow voices. I really like mellow voices. And Baumgartner Restoration, the guy has a really nice narrating voice, and he talks very softly and very soothingly, and you just listen to him and you're like, oh, I love listening to you. I don't care. He's talking about scraping a painting off of layers and layers of varnish. And he just talks like that the whole time. And you just kind of take that deep breath and relax, Yes. I'm so sorry that happened, Beverly. She sent me a text about something that happened, but I won't repeat it because it's not my place. But I feel sorry for people who can't be nice to everybody else. Yeah, he's on YouTube, Stir. And I've been watching a whole lot of him. I also like, maybe it's soothing for me to watch things get repaired, because I also like a guy named Thomas Johnson Antiques. It's not even that you listen to what he's doing, it's just that he has a really good voice for that. Yeah. He's very relaxing. ASMR, I thought, was more like listening to fabric cut or listening to a sound that soothes you. The sound of rain. I like listening to the birds. And Wayne recorded, I've got a video up for birds, Oh, I can't do that. Pimple popping does not do me. Can't do it. Matter of fact, speaking of, there's my finger. It's doing way better than it was. Matter of fact, today is my last day of antibiotics. Yeah, but I can't do pimple popping. I didn't even watch when they did this. And of course, I wasn't knocked out. They just literally stuck the lidocaine in my finger and did it. I held my hand still. Yeah, I can't watch that. It just is not my thing. I have some nurse friends who really get into it, though. They're really into watching drainage and stuff. Beverly, I have a few people I can't watch because of that. Oh, yeah. Oh, Sylvia, my finger is, excuse me, my finger is miles better. It doesn't hurt. There's one little spot that still feels hard, but for the most part, it's all gone down and drained. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it is much better, much, much better. Um, anyway, so I'm on the last day of the antibiotics. Tylenol, I guess they call that Norco. And that stuff, ooh, the one I took of that, I was up all night. I didn't sleep at all. Heavy duty pain meds do weird things. So yeah, it's still lumpy, but I mean, there is actually an RA nodule there, Sylvia. But I mean, I have a couple of pictures of it from before that I took, because I sent it to a couple of those nurse friends I was talking about. And compared to today, compared to what it looks like today, it's way better, way, way better. I was always a little self-conscious when I do sewing, like up close sewing. I was always a little self-conscious about it. So it's in the videos and it looks better. It's peeling a bit. The skin's really dry. I've been putting polysporin on it, but it's getting there. I can't watch that, Beverly. And Stir, I agree with that. I can't handle women who get that high archy voice and try to act dumb. I think acting dumb is probably the worst thing for me. I get that some people are, but like, I might say something along the lines of, I don't understand tech stuff, but I don't understand lots of tech stuff. I understand enough to get myself live, but I don't understand, like I think I was talking a while back on here about trying to learn OBS and OBX. My comprehension of that is very, very low. Yeah. Yeah, I am not a fan of having another surgery if I can help it, Beverly. Um, I'm looking forward to hoping that I don't have to have any more surgeries. The last one I had was in well, then they left me intubated and in ICU. And when I started waking up, I was like, there's a tube in my throat. And I went and yanked it out. And, I told him I act weird when I'm under major drugs. So, hi, Kim. Yeah, I think it's an act a lot of times too, Star. And I just, bless your soul, I'm Southern. So, bless your heart is big for me. Usually, if I say bless your heart, I'm not really meaning bless your heart. I'm done with whatever we're talking about. And I don't like mean people. Don't be mean to others if you can help it. You know? Yeah, Sylvia, I was raised old school with the grammar. So you spell out the words you and you are and that kind of thing. Even in my texts, I don't use a whole lot of like instead of writing the word to, they put a number two. Like if you're saying I'm going to the store, they'll put the two in there. I don't think that works real well. I think it's a sign of low intelligence. I may be wrong because, it is the culture now. But I also can't stand those ear gauges where they put the big holes in their ears and put things in them. I just don't understand the concept. For African people who it's a tribal thing, that's great. That's okay. But it looks kind of weird to me on Billy Bob, who works at the grocery store. So, and when they take them out, their ears just look funky. Hey, Tracy, how are you today? Yes, Sylvia, kindness costs nothing. I even get stressed out when I have to go from one. I have no clue what Universal is talking about. Kim, I'm going to leave that one up to you. I think that's weird. I'm okay, Tracy. I was just telling everybody that I've been working on different stuff in my sewing room than I normally do. So do you guys want to see this cover? And do you guys want to see it? Let's see. I'll just bring it over here. So I made yesterday to go on my scan and cut. This is what I cut out using those pieces of fabric. That's the front. And that says dream, even though it looks funky. You're creative too, huh? And then there is the top of it. That little edge of that butterfly isn't ironed all the way down, but I think that's because the edge of the heat and bond that I put on there didn't get there. So I've got to cut a little tiny piece or sew around it. And I haven't sewn around anything yet. I kind of like it like this, looking raw, but I may go back in and sew around the big butterflies, possibly around the dream. Yeah, I love butterflies too. And I thought, and what I did was I just took two like 10-inch squares of fabric, or 11-inch squares, because that's the cut area on mine. And I cut out, pink and blue. Actually, it's kind of a red and a teal, but they look pink and blue on camera. But I cut out the two 10-inch squares and I just cut out a whole bunch of little shapes. Yes, Dollywood does use a lot of butterflies. And I'm going to put a video out about it so you'll get a better picture of it once I get that edited. I looked up on YouTube how to make a cover for a scan and cut. Good morning, June. How are you? Yeah, isn't that pretty, Star? But I started with a video where somebody covered their 2300. I'll have to play with that in a minute. So I took her basic measurements, looks kind of orange and teal. Yeah, it's really pink, but under the light in here, yeah, it does look orange. But I took her basic measurements and then I drew around the end of mine with a piece of fabric and a friction pen, one of those ones that erases with heat. And then I sewed it up. It was still a little bit big, so I gave it a little more fine tuning with the sewing machine. And then I put all the little pieces on. I thought about putting the first, but I really wanted them to sit on the top and on the front. So that's what I did. And I did find a place for my scan and cut to sit. It's right here to my left. And it's up here for you. This is what I did, literally. I just cut a bunch of pieces. And then once I took them off the mat, I spread them out here, and then I just started dropping them on the cover and putting them in different places. And I used some of that muslin stir that we both got from Marshall's Dry Goods. I thought that was a good fabric to use for that. And I had lots of it. And if I decide that I want to make new covers for all of my sewing machines, I have enough of it to do that as the background. And I don't think that with the hearts and the butterflies and stuff, they all have to be exactly the same color. So if I want to do that to every machine in the room, then I can do that and not have to worry about it. Thank you, June. I appreciate that. But it was just a little, fun to do last night. And like I said, I figured after I worked all day yesterday, I deserved to do something that was just fun. And that was just fun. So, and I found a place to hang my mats up in here for the brother. So that was good. Yeah, that muslin is awesome, isn't it? And I only did, you can see it's just a one layer. And let's see, I serged the ends. And then, like I said, it was just a little bit too wide. So I took this end off and cut down the top fabric and just sewed it back together. And it took me, 5 minutes to do that part. Took me longer to measure. But if I want to, I can run it over to my serger and just serge down that seam so that it won't fray. But I don't, yeah, how did you like it, Stir? I liked how it came out in a quilt, but in a quilt, you want soft. And how much of it did you wash and dry? Like a yard? Did it wrinkle badly? Yeah, we're trying to do good stuff and have fun and all that stuff. That's what we're here for. And then I've been working in here. It looks like a bigger mess right now. You can see, hold on, I'm going to move the camera angle a little bit for you. It looks like a bigger mess over there, but it's actually getting sorted. I've got some chicken fabrics there that I want to use for something specific. So I've got those out, and then I have some iron-ons. Oh, that's not bad. An inch of shrinkage over a yard, that's not really bad. But I've got some iron-ons over there I want to use to make, it's little boy stuff. It's a train and a car and a truck. So I thought, yeah, I'll pull those up here and do it. A half yard wrinkled, not like your face. That's terrible. Don't say that about yourself. That's one thing about being chubby. I don't have many wrinkles. It didn't work, huh? See if I can see what my command for that is, because I think I thought I had one for Mod Sylvia. Mod Squad. Now, FYI, anybody who's in here, I hope so, Stir. Don't be talking about my friend like that. Anybody who's in here can hit exclamation point commands, and it'll let you look at the list of what the commands are. So you can see, who all's listed. And of course, if I've missed somebody, then for sure let me know so that I can add them to my list. I'm pretty sure that you guys know there's a couple of people I won't ever be adding to my list, but that's okay. I did meet somebody new last night on Beth's chat, and I was super impressed. She was so nice. She calls herself Hot Mess Quilting, and I watched a couple of her videos this morning. She's got a gray soup frame like I do. She has a Baby Lock Jazz 2, which is the sewing machine I've got sitting over here to my right. She has a Baby Lock Jazz 2 on her hoop frame, and she uses that to long arm quilt. So, and I need to add Replay to my list. That bot is really neat. Yeah. And I thought it was fairly easy to set up. And like I said, I'm not a tech genius. I can do basics, and I thought it was simple to set up. So you can look at that if you want to. I don't think anybody can change anything on it. I hope if they can that they won't. But Colleen found a couple of hacks when she was in Teresa's live a couple days ago that I want to see about putting on my channel. And it limits how many capital letters somebody can use, how many emojis and emotes, and I don't know what the difference is, and how many symbols. Well, that's a great testimonial, Sylvia. You have found it easy to set up. And then I'm hoping, Sylvia, that Colleen sent you the list of words that we've all put into Blacklist. You don't have to put all of them in, but they're all the ones that I've seen come up on YouTube since I've been since I've been running my own channel. And a lot of them are words you don't want to really say in a live or type into a chat, and things that you don't want to see. Nasty troll in a chat I was in one time. And the troll was like, all this particular race should die, blah, blah, blah. You can delete their comments, but you can't delete their name. So Nightbot gives you the option to be able to filter that name out. Okay, great, Sylvia. But Nightbot gives you the option to filter the word out in the names too. So those kind of things can't come through. And I don't know how Univ got past it, but Kim took care of it. She's the troll queen. Yay, Kim. I got to give her crown today. Yeah, she may have done the blacklist as a separate email, Sylvia, because as she said herself, that's some filthy words. It's probably the filthiest email she ever sent. Anyway, back to sewing. So I've got a quilt over here hanging up. You guys can see that. It's some farm fabric. And I've got a bunch of quilts that are still underneath my other table, down by my left knee where I used to sit. So I want to get those brought in here and start getting those backed and batted so that I can quilt them. And I'm planning to quilt them at least on camera, if not on a live. I think it would probably be easier to do it on camera because I don't have like a tripod camera that can stand on the other side of my table. Right. And this little camera sits up on a shelf right above my computer. And I don't think that I could set the camera like on the table where I free motion quilt. And if I can get to the groove, well, that's good, Star. I appreciate that. We had one earlier, June. It didn't say anything nasty. It was just completely out in left field. But I would like to be able to set up my Juki on the frame, the Grace hoop frame that I have. And it works the same way that Beth's does, except I do have the handlebars. But I'd like to be able to show you how to do free motion quilting on that. I don't have a computer, probably never will. But either I'm going to do it on the frame or I'm going to start getting them quilted on my table that's in the other room where I used to sit and do my lives at. And I have like 30 tops in there I need to get quilted. I think they're the greatest, Star. Tracy. Nightbot's really fast, but Nightbot only times them out. It doesn't ban people. And sometimes you want to troll ban forever. Nightbot gives like a 5-second warning. I have got to cough. I am so sorry. Or clear my throat anyway. Nightbot gives them a 5-second timeout. And then on my channel, I changed that timeout to 7,200 seconds, which is a half an hour. But it takes a regular human moderator to ban the person. Nightbot can't do that. So you still need moderators. And of course, you need mods because they do things like pull up links if you're talking about products. That's always a nice thing that they can do. And just to, because Nightbot's not going to get it if somebody's sitting in chat and saying nasty things to someone else. So, a human moderator is going to know that. And sometimes what's nasty isn't really like in your blacklist, which is where those words are on my channel. Sometimes what's nasty isn't in there, but you know that the comment was nasty. I was in a chat way back when I first started. Yeah. Oh well. Of course we do. So yeah. I was in a chat way back where somebody came in and they didn't say anything that was objectionable to blacklist words, but they flat out insulted another person in the chat and basically called her an old hag. And the other person, to keep the peace, actually apologized to the person who was doing the insulting. And I was angry that the person who insulted the other lady didn't get dropped out of the chat. Hey, Shirley, how are you today? I see you giving out kisses and hugs today. Thank you very much. I'll take a hug for sure. No kisses. I don't want to get COVID or give COVID. Always worry about doing that. And Kim, if you'll type in ! Shirley. Yeah, Sylvia, she should have been. The channel creator missed it or ignored it. And I was extremely angry about it. Tracy, you could even do this. You don't have to have the cheat sheet. Just type ! Shirley, and it should bring up Shirley's channel. I thought I added her yesterday because I think I added her and Sylvia while we were live. There we are. Yay, yay. Well, hello, Barb. How are you today? Exactly, Beverly. I try to be as nice as I can possibly be until it's time to not be nice. And I give a couple of strikes, but not many. So Barb, welcome to the chat. I don't recognize your name, but welcome. Yeah, but you're only blocking them for yourself if you're not a mod, Sylvia. You're the only person that can't see them after that. So for those who just came in, I made, and I'm going to put a video out about it probably today or tomorrow. I made a cover for my scan and cut. Well, welcome to the chat, Barb. I'm glad you're doing well. And I was showing it off earlier. And the reason I'm going to put out a video on it is because number one, I didn't make it live. And number two, I want to show you guys basically how I put together the thing. Yep. No, it only blocks them for you. So you don't see that troll anymore. So if the moderators or the creator aren't fast enough to get them out, at least you don't have to see the next 20 times that troll tries to dump their stuff in the chat. But I did my little cover with some heat and bond. Yep. Well, that's how you learn, And has anybody seen Lana recently? So I'm wondering if anybody's seen her on a chat anywhere. I wasn't a fan of James, or I'm not a fan of James, but I haven't seen Lana since James left YouTube. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen her since June 7th. So for those who've been around a while and saw my security video, James was the reason I made the security video, because he had something on his arrest record that made me concerned. And apparently he has been arrested again for the same thing. And since he was arrested, and this is all public record, I'm not gossiping, but since he was arrested, I haven't seen Lana either. Yeah, well, good. Count yourself lucky. Lana is his mother, and I haven't seen her on since he was, yeah. I wonder that too, Kim. Hello, Lynn. How are you? I'm doing well. So is it dinner time or is it getting close to bedtime for you, Lynn? And if you're having dinner, what are you having? You always have good food. You and Sylvia both. Well, if anybody sees Lana, let me know. I, like Kim, suspect they were the same person, but I also don't want to see an elderly woman or an older woman like cast adrift out there either. Hey, Patty C, how are you today? Are you taking your break or are you sneaking around to get to see us for a few minutes? And I don't think we're going to see Colleen today. She's not feeling real good. And neither is Stephanie, actually. Pork, steak, and salad. I have in my head that I want pasta, maybe lasagna or spaghetti. So I'm going to dig through the freezer and refrigerator and see what I can find after we get done here. Working remote so you don't have to sneak around. That's awesome. My husband works remote too. So I'm in one bedroom of the house and he's in the other. And he does IT programming. I don't understand anything. Sylvia, I think it was more of they called each other brother and sister. It's not dinner, huh? I think they just called each other brother and sister, Sylvia. Yeah. I initially had him blocked before I started doing lives. And then I went live. Okay, Patty. And found out that he could still come see my lives, but I couldn't see him. And I didn't want him to be able to talk in my lives without me being able to see what he was saying. So I unblocked him, but he always made me uncomfortable. And I finally looked him up and found out that he had some bad stuff on his record. And that's when I did the security video, because he was way too attentive. I don't know if you guys all know Handmade by Ying, but he was really attentive to her granddaughter during a live she did with Bebe on there. And what I found made me warn Donna, and then I thought Donna's not the only person who shows her kid or their grandchild. So yeah, that's why I did the security video. Mac and cheese and hot dogs. I do hot dogs and chili. That sounds good too. It's not the pasta I want. It's the creaminess or something, I think. Yeah, I don't think April's actually related to him, Sylvia. But so What are you guys working on today besides food? Because we're going to talk about food and I'm going to be really hungry before I get off of here. Hey, Marla, how are you? Oh, I want to eat at Stir's house. Chicken salad on fresh greens with bacon, hard-boiled eggs, and avocado. Guacamole, that sounds good. I had some chips earlier this morning. The antibiotic I'm on, I've been trying to eat. Maybe that's why I want spaghetti, is because I've been trying to eat a little more carbs because the antibiotic is rough on my tummy. That chicken salad sounds good with the eggs and avocado, though, and bacon. Bacon, 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 bacon. I think Tiff text. She says, I love spaghetti. She probably isn't feeling real good though. She's sneaking in and watching in the corner. Yeah, Stir, where do you live at? Are you in the UK also, or are you in the United States? You don't have to answer that. You don't have to. No grandkids today and you slept till noon. That's nice. Sewing buttons on a tuxedo jacket and hand sewing buttonholes, vintage rock band t-shirt quilt, and crochet. Are you hand sewing buttonholes on the tuxedo jacket? You figured out what you want to sew tomorrow. Awesome. I know what I want to sew today, but I'm not going to be able to sew today. And Patty, I have a friend who used to be known as the king of punk rock in Miami. Okay, Beverly, you have a good day too. I'll respond to your message later. Hello, Gisela. How are you today? Yeah, but my friend who is used to be the king of punk rock in Miami, he's now like 60, 61, and he lives in California. But the stories he tells are really interesting. Fake buttonholes, that's cool. So Gisela, what are you working on today? Poor Colleen. I know she's hurting. Hey, Lori, Sherlock Soaps, how are you today? I was showing off my little project I did. I made a cover for my Scan and Cut. I may go at some point and applique or embroider around, the words and the butterflies and stuff, but I haven't decided for sure that I'm going to do that yet. I do have a spot where I have to apply some heat and bond or some glue, but I don't think this is going to get washed a whole lot. So the heat and bond will hold. Oh, you're working on your last block. Okay. Okay, Lynn, go get your jammies on. Oh, okay. That's very cool. Hourglasses. I love doing hourglasses. I think they're so cute. This guy was like Sid Vicious and the Sex Pistols and that kind of punk. He also tells stories about who's the guy. They did a movie about him recently. Always had a cigarette in one of those cigarette holders and a yellow sunglasses. Oh, well, awesome. If you have questions, feel free to email me. I'll help you with the Cricut as much as I can. I have some videos up on it. And there is Angela. There's a girl named Angela who does an awesome job of teaching it. See if it'll let me see my subscriptions while I'm live. Angie Holden, I think is her name, Sherlock. I've heard a couple of comments about the Zax box. A couple of people don't like the background fabric. I saw a picture yesterday and the fabric that they had was brown. I was like, I thought they were all different colors, but I wouldn't have picked brown as the background. Yes, I like hourglasses. You're a newbie with it. Hubby bought it 2 years ago. It's not super tough to learn. I've still got my Cricut. I didn't get rid of it when I bought my Scan and Cut. Design Space takes a minute to learn, but if you follow a couple of those easy tutorials, it's helpful. I have a video up about how to trace around a picture or a pattern piece, but I don't have lots of basics videos for it. Hey, Donna, how are you today? Well, I'm not saying a lot about, so yeah, I don't shop there anymore. I like my Marshall's dry goods fabric. All of it that I've had has worked out pretty well. Thank you, Sylvia. You're back, Gisela. Yay, I'm glad. I'll be interested to see those quilts when they're done, though, because I came really close to buying that Zach box. I decided to subscribe to the subscription box instead, but I thought about buying that Zach. Yep. Thank you, Donna. Look at her copying and pasting. I think mine just says pay to rent. Since I coined it, I figured I'd put it in for my sub thing. Oh, awesome, Donna. Donna has had a long week of lots and lots of obligations for her Maryland State Fire Department stuff. Thank you, Gisela. I appreciate that. But she's had a long week. Now she gets to go home and relax. Yay, Lynn. I like comfy PJs. Oh, Gisela. Sorry. It'll only give you a 5-second timeout. How many symbols did you put up? 4. Okay, Nightbot, we have to fix that. Let me do that while we're here, because I don't want you thrown out for that. That's stupid. Come on. Spam protection. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. I don't want anybody to get hit by that. That bot is bad. And I thought I had already changed this. Well, what are you doing, machine? Yeah. Oh, Gisela, it's part of the spam protection that's automatically in here. It's 8. So what it got you for was symbols? Oh, Gisela, no, 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 no. You're allowed to talk. I'm just trying to change the symbols. And my brain is texting me to tell me how to fix it. Oh. It was funny. I just said my brain is texting me how to fix that. Oh. I just said Wayne, sorry. No, I said my brain. Well, it's set for 8 on everyone. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. The reason it's in there and I didn't just disable it is because it's I'm sorry, Gisela, it has to be set that way because the spammers still use a lot of symbols. And they'll come into a chat and their name will have, you know, a couple of letters and then a bunch of symbols. So I set it to 8. So it shouldn't get you again because you don't normally use like 20 emojis at one time. But if I disable it, then it lets the spam bots back in. Yes, we were talking about that earlier. That's why that PSA right there was written. Don't share your personal contact info, your email, your phone number, your address. Yeah, it's the Nightbot. I am so sorry, Gisela. It's not personal. It's not aimed at you. It's because of the spam bots. And some of them have been really bad lately. We've gotten some nasty ones. So you can only do 8 emojis, period, in the entire chat. I just got a text message saying that's 8, period, not per attempt. I hope that's not true because I use a lot of emojis myself. And I know that at least one of my mods is an emoji junkie. She puts lots and lots in. Exactly. But look at Donna kicking it in the tush. Oh, Gisela, I hope that you change your mind on that. But it is to try to protect you guys from having to see some of those nasty bots and stuff that we've been seeing, because we've seen some really bad ones here recently. I'm sorry, Gisela. It's not aimed at you. It is aimed at keeping the spammers out if we can. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't know. I didn't know that it was going to do that. And I went and I raised the limit on it immediately. But I don't want to raise it super high because I don't want to let a spammer come in. Some of the stuff they say is really nasty and I don't want to see it. I don't want my chatters to have to see it either. I'm sorry. The amount of emojis isn't per attempt, it's per conversation. Okay. Yep. We got Sylvia, we got Yang. Donna, did you put yours in already? I want to make sure all of you get put in there. It's going to get me for spamming my own chat in a minute if I don't watch it. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Blocks the owner of the channel. That would be terrible, terrible. Okay, Gisela, I am just trying to keep you guys safe because I definitely don't want to see all those spammers in here. There's just some things that I think need to not happen. All right, guys, I've been on for about an hour because I went on a few minutes early. And I actually am impressed that I've been able to keep my shoulder immobile for most of that hour. But I'm going to go and I'm going to see if I can get a hot shower. You'll show Gisela that this is what happens. Yeah, not feeling good. Okay. We still love you, Gisela. I definitely appreciate you being here. I want to make sure that everybody has had a chance to share their link and had a chance to like. Oh, I didn't do anything to it, Donna. It's just the right shoulder is where the Arthur decided to be today. You just went to see Steph and it asked you to block her. Hey, Dawn, how are you? June, I don't understand what you just said. Oh, Dawn, we mostly chit chatted. I showed off my cover that I made for my new brother's Scan and Cut. Oh, I'm going to get rain. That may explain why my shoulder is what's hurting today. You went to see Steph and it asked you to block her. I may do the same, Dawn. I haven't decided yet. How are you doing on that new long armor? Yeah, I'm waiting to see what June says. It may take a minute to type it though. And it was Stephanie Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter. So you clicked on Stephanie's link. The link works okay for me. That's interesting. Colleen, you're supposed to be napping. Well, at least you're getting better at it, I'm sure, Dawn. Jean, I think it looked like it worked fine. Because if you click to the right of her name, you should get, I think it's, yeah. Bye, Lynn. You have a great day. Thank you. We love you too. Yeah, usually if you click the dots that are over on the right-hand side of somebody's name, it only gives member a couple of options. And those are, I think, report and block. It doesn't give you the option to do anything else. Bye, Gisela. You have a great day. Maybe so, June. Okay, good. I was like, I hope that link doesn't take you to some place to block somebody. Had me scared there for a minute. I was like, okay. Bye, Stir. Okay, guys, I'm going to say bye to everybody for now. Thank you all for coming and spending time with me. And I'm going to go find some food and maybe a hot pad for my shoulder. Have a great day.